Are we here to simply listen to a whole lot of information and leave this room feeling that we get informed? This is just a sample, at least from my perspective, of many, many seminars that will follow. The goal of this seminar and the ones that will follow are for us to come united. That is the goal. That is the essence of why we are here. We are not united. I hate to bring that news to you. If we were, I can assure you that the issue of Sahara would be far different from what it is today. Our relationship with the American politicians will be much closer. We'll have a voice, and most importantly, our relationship with Morocco, our friends and families, etc., etc. And even the politicians will be far different. We will be part of the change. We will be going there with agendas. Hey, we want the following, A, B, C, and D. But we will be talking as 100,000 Moroccans. That carries a whole lot of weight. Selling you on the idea that being united is something noble, it's a practical matter. There's absolutely no way that we can stand in the way of innovation and especially evolution. Moroccans becoming united and a very powerful source is something that will happen with my help and your help or without. It's just a simple matter of when. So what we're proposing to you, a number of volunteers, is that we can make that future much, much closer. And if we do not act now, today, we will be missing out on a whole lot of opportunities. There are opportunities that do not come every day. And unfortunately, there are many of us, and we do not have a whole lot of resources to go ahead and be the kind of people that invent opportunities, invent artificial needs. The fact of the matter is, as we have learned from a lot of very knowledgeable people here this morning, is that this is a window. This window, unfortunately, has a time limit. It will, without a shadow of a doubt, close, one way or another. If it's not because of complacency, okay? We all know that governments that are challenged by its own people tend to be a better government. I heard somebody say the other day that the real change is that will be brought by Moroccans like yourself and me, that have tasted another way of doing things. Perhaps they have learned that there are ways that work, and there are ways that simply do not work. And investing going that way will not work. It will be a waste of time. So I'd like to go back to a number of questions that came up this morning. Some addressed the issue of al-aqar. You know, people who go back home to open businesses or buy homes, etc., face some very serious difficulties. These are not the kind of problems that would be solved by one person. These are the kind of problems that require a force. That force can only be brought by a large number of people. 100,000, whatever. I think you get the message. Is a lot of people. If somebody comes and said, I speak for Moroccan Americans, rest assured, they will listen. And they will listen real good. Now, Morocco, unfortunately, although it has taken huge steps, it is way outside of the comfort zone. It's experimenting with ideas that have never, at least in my short memory, been experimented with. Issues such as coming at peace with our history, abuses, and whatnot. But this takes a whole lot of courage and takes a vision. And I think this is that window, one of the windows that have been opened up, and we should fully exploit. Now, There are a lot of challenges, as many of you have brought up here. What is a person? You know, these challenges, unfortunately, cannot be overcome by one of us. Each time I go home, when I go home, it's never a vacation. I come back and probably I need a month of detox, I like to call it. I hate to sound like that, because the amount of challenges are so unbelievably overwhelming. Many of us simply shut down and you just put that filter and they only see what they want to see. Okay? And that's one way of doing things, is to actually be a selective listener or a selective watcher, for lack of a better word. That's another way of doing that. So one of the proposals that we have before us today, me included, is, I think of them as just two choices. One is to have a whole lot more of what we already have, which is the current situation here among ourselves, or what we have back home, which is okay, it's a choice. Or perhaps another choice, which is to work together at maybe designing a better future. A better future that sort of addresses many of our hopes and dreams for ourselves and for those that will follow. I mean, that future is really not impossible. And each one of us here has a role to play.